Well, this week we got two reports into the Fort McMurry fire of last year, and both were done by consulting firms for the Alberta government. Now, they were released in a real hurry on Thursday night, and it wasn't planned that way. The government was planning on releasing them next week, but Thursday night CBC got a copy of one and leaked it. And that caused a bit of a panic in the government as they scrambled to release both reports and give reporters a background briefing and then a news conference with a couple of ministers. Now, what was interesting and disturbing in some ways about this was the fact that these reports have been in the government's hands for some time. In fact, the most critical one, by a company called MNP, was given to the government in its final form March 22nd. And yet the government didn't release it until this week in a major hurry. So the government is saying, well, look, it wanted to see both reports, spend some time thinking about them, and look at the recommendations, and then release them together and show Albertans how, in fact, the government was responding to these recommendations. And also, the ministers were saying that they didn't want to upset people in Fort McMurray, didn't want to make them anxious, because in May, that was the one-year anniversary of the fire. So they were hoping to release them after the fact. Well, you know, a cynic, a journalist, an opposition politician is going to say, this is the government now playing politics with this. This is the government not wanting to release the reports during the spring sitting, especially in March, when it would have then given the opposition and the media a lot of information then to hold the government to account throughout the spring sitting. So by holding off until after the spring sitting was over, it gives the impression the government was playing politics with this. And now you've got Brian Jean, leader of the Wild Rose, demanding a public inquiry into the fire and how the government responded to it. Well, the government's not going to agree to that. What it wants to do is move forward and take the recommendations, make things better, because as these reports both point out, because of climate change, you can expect to see more big and devastating fires hit Alberta in the years to come. I'm Graham Thomson with the Edmonton Journal.